when Charlie starts throwing strikes, first off, he's nasty. I mean, he's really good, and when he gets inside the strike zone and the hitters get threatened, they come out swinging. And when he's throwing quality strikes, he gets some early outs. And it looked like they, either sensed that he was going to be a strike thrower or just didn't want to let the at-bat get too deep. They were swinging really early. He had 3 or 4 innings in a row of sub-10 pitch count, which means he's throwing quality strikes. They know it. We know it. Ball and play good defense behind him, and a pretty efficient outing.
Maybe quietly had a really good season. How do you plan to utilize him in the postseason?
Yeah, he's had a very good season. And the discussion underway is really what's the best use of him. I mean, he could very much make a start in the playoffs. He could, be an effective weapon out of the bullpen if we go that route. We really don't know, and we don't have to know for a while. And, there'll be another outing that he'll have. And these aren't really audition outings as much as they are giving us some time to line things up the way that we would see it. But he's an effective pitcher against both righties and lefties. His velocity is held for 6 straight months. He's found a way to keep his mechanics in order and keep quality strikes coming. And like you said, I think it's a little underappreciated or unnoticed what he's done to put up the kind of year that he's done. It's not underappreciated because we know exactly what we have.
Seeing Morton go the other way a couple times today, do you think that's indicative of maybe him kind of getting back into where he was earlier in the season?
Yeah, I think just covering different pitches are important for him. He's done a good job of laying off secondary pitches and getting some fastball counts and getting some pitches to hit. And as the at-bats gotten longer, he's become so much more disciplined this season as a whole than he was, leading up to this season. And I think that, obviously his numbers have gone through the roof, but his quality at bats have maintained a very high level. And part of that is that he can go the other way. He obviously hit the ball down the left field line and got a little lucky there. But then all of a sudden, when they do get into a good count, he yanks the ball down the other line with some strength, and it's another extra base hit. So, just a remarkable season that continues for him. He's an important piece for us. Whenever we've had some injuries, he's answered, the question. He's an everyday player, and I think that that type of weapon, switch hitting everyday player that can move around the field 7 or 8 positions is very rare.
When do you guys plan to make those decisions in terms of playoff roles and playoff roster?
Given that we won the division, we don't really have to until after the regular season if we don't want to. I mean, making it public and deciding what we're doing is going to be a little bit different. But, I will continue to talk about it internally. What I disclose, will be somewhere in that gap. But we have 3 days off between the end of the season and the playoffs. So I think I used this quote the other day is we don't have to make a decision on the same timeline that you guys want to know. And not you directly, just anybody in general. We have a ton of time on our hands to make the right decision. There's a lot of baseball left, and we'll utilize our guys the best we can.
When you're not playing your primary lineup, how pleased are you seeing on that Correa kind of carry the offense?
Yeah, the top end of our lineup, we're still some primary players that play a lot. The bottom half are guys trying to battle for that last spot on the playoff roster and see what they can offer. They've all been up here, and the 12 o'clock game, beg for some of these guys to get some days off. And when they step up and can play, it's nice to have them be included. And then within that, obviously, Bregman, Gonzo, Correa have really, really good nights. Gaddis, it's a big 3-run homer. We could have won in a lot of different ways today, but those guys that are normally at the bottom of our order, guys like Gaddis, and even Marwin's been down a little bit, Bregman's been down a little bit, step up at the top of the order and produce. It was a good day.
There's never a point in which you doubt Correa, but coming off the injury, I would assume this week's been really encouraging, everything you've seen pretty much since Sunday.
Yeah, I think it's unfair for anyone to have expected him to just seamlessly transition from an injury the way he's had it to being back in form, both strength and production. And I know he's sort of Superman, but he does deserve a little bit of a ramp to get himself back ready. The back end of his rehab was in the big leagues. We brought him up here once he was deemed healthy, not necessarily once he had enough at bats. And the fact that he's making these adjustments here, it's good for him to see. I think because of the time missed, we don't want anyone to be uncomfortable timing-wise going into the postseason. And so hitting the ball squarely a couple times, coming up big, getting the intentional walk will tell you the other side certainly doesn't disrespect him. So it's a good day for him.